Hello, everybody, and welcome to the last showcase slash what I would like to call mid-tier expert level review, as in we are mid-tier experts, and not even like mid-tier average experts.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this, and I was like, I really want this set to say something like, this card doesn't excite me, just so that somebody can be like, you're wrong.
Yeah. We are the mid-tier average, at best, middling tier experts.
Yeah.
And we're here showcasing custom cards designed by GOT and the design team. So I've said this a few times, but these are custom cards that are designed to extend the life of the game, bring new love to factions or cards that otherwise wouldn't, and just basically like keep the awesome game going. And you can find a bunch of information down in the description where you can print and play these cards using your printer and paper, or you can print them through something like Make Playing Cards and get them, professionally printed.
And as an amateur, average, mid-tier expert, I will say one of the best reasons to support this is that the art on these is incredible, and a lot of that money continues to go towards supporting the artists and having new art made for the cards.
Well, because they're non-profit, but they have a link you can donate to actually give money for them to pay the artists for what they're worth, because, artists are great people and they make great things. So, let's go in. As yes, you can see we now have, over here, actual digital images of the cards, so you're not going to get the shaky cam. Perfect time on the final review video, but we did get there. We did learn from our mistakes. That's kind of like PBG in a nutshell, learning from our mistakes.
At the last minute.
Exactly. I mean, our Arkham content has only improved after just constantly just throwing past it against the wall and seeing what sticks. All right, we have Gendry. This is a Baratheon, 5-cost character, has a sword icon and 5 attack. He is unique, a bastard of Brotherhood and R'hllor. While he controls no loyal characters, Gendry gains renown. Notably, Gendry is not loyal. He doesn't have a little banner under the House Baratheon sigil. In reaction, after the challenge phase begins, choose a non-loyal character with weapon attachment. Until the end of the phase, that character gets +2 strength and gains each of Gendry's keywords. Cool card. Mm-hmm. This is one that I've talked about in previous ones where it makes me go, like, I would like to build around this character. I would like to, this guy seems like he would do really well in a deck, and I'm excited to see that deck in action, right?
Yeah, and what I like about him, too, is that he's quite high cost for only having a single icon.
Yeah.
But that's because you are absolutely playing around his text, his special abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, while he only has a sword icon, he also is giving all of his keywords to other people. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Also seems fun with a weapon deck because he is the blacksmith, right? So seeing what kind of the whole flavor of that is really cool, and I think it's just a cool character.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up we got Antlermen. This is a 2-cost, non-loyal Baratheon. It's a merchant with an eyeball and a crown and 1 power. Reaction. After power is moved to your faction card, gain 1 gold, limit twice per round. Seems good. Obviously, a lot of times, I think the most common move is going to be through crown challenges, where gold might not be as valuable, but it's good for dominance. Mm-hmm. But there's also a lot of effects in House Baratheon that move power from a character to your faction card, which would mean this guy can give you, basically could potentially even pay back the cards that you are using, that are, you're using to move the power over.
Well, and this card blows my mind a little bit, too, because, I know it kind of falls into a weird place for us, but it's 2 gold for 2 symbols, 1 power, and an ability that can help fix some of your special powers or effects as you're playing through challenges. This card, I think, is a real, sleeper powerful card.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. This card seems like a card that I'm not good enough to really know a home for yet.
Yeah. No.
But as we saw with the camel, we call the camel, it's one of the 1 cost in House Martell that just you can tap it to reduce the cost of the next Martell cost you play. It has a camel on the art, so we just call it the camel. But Eric bamboozled me with the camel once. Sent in as just a one attack crown challenge to disrupt my game plan, and it was a good move. And then that's where I saw value in stuff like this, because this guy could just go in alone on a test, on a challenge, and just be I'm coming in for an eyeball challenge. What are you going to do?
Well, and he's especially weird, too, because this is a reaction, so you don't even have to tap him like the camel.
He's just here. And he's not unique, so you can have 3 of these guys in play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you, every time you move faction over, just get 3 gold?
That'd be wild.
Seems fun. Seems fun. All right, I remember to do this. Okay, Storm's End. This is a 5-cost location, so it better be good. It's unique and it's loyal. During the challenges phase, characters without a crown icon cannot stand. That's pretty good. Reaction. After a sword or eye challenge is initiated by or against you, kneel Storm's End to change that challenge type to a crown. Yeah, that's a good card.
That's disgusting. I love that.
The Baratheons, we've only played them once in a game, and that was like the best deck that I've ever built in this game. It was nuts.
They absolutely blew me away.
And this seems like a very powerful piece. One thing that I'm like curious about when we play the game more is to learn like what position, what role this plays in your deck, right? Because a 5-cost location is expensive. And you also probably don't want to draw more than one of them, but you probably want it in play. So how many do you run in your deck? These are the kind of things that like I don't know with my knowledge of this game right now, you know?
Yeah, and with the ability to put... Can locations also get duplicates to protect them or save them?
I'm not sure on that, to be honest, actually.
Yeah, because that's like that's the way that I feel they make some of the higher cost characters more valuable and help you fix your deck size down.
Yes.
But with things like locations, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
You know, we can actually... We could do what we can always do is we can just go to...
As ignorant amateur...
Experts, yeah. Work in progress experts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think you can. I should probably spell duplicate right, because then that'll help me.
Okay, English is also a work in project. See?
A player may use additional copies by title of any unique card they own to play as duplicates. So it's just the unique that matters, it looks like.
Yeah, there we go.
So you could do multiples of it. So you could like, but I couldn't see myself running 3 of these in my deck.
No, I would do 2 at most.
Yeah, but I'm curious for people who know more how you approach this when it comes to deck building.
I'm excited for one of the designers to come in and be like, you always run 4.
Yeah. I think you're going to only run 3 of a card, so 4 is even better.
You always run 4.
Yeah. All right. Oh, what the heck? We're back to Gendry. See, look, work in progress. There we go. I pressed the wrong button. Okay. We're on Eric Anvilbreaker. This is a Greyjoy non-loyal 2-cost. Oh, his name is Eric. I was like, where are you waving to? 4 attack, 2-cost, 4 attack, sword and crown. Intimidate, pillage, renown. He cannot stand during the standing phase. Okay, that makes sense. You got to do something because his stat line is insane.
His stat line is absolutely wrecked.
2 cost, 2 symbols, 4, 3 keywords, but he just can't stand on his own. You got to find some other way to stand him.
Although I do like that the flavor text is all about standing him up.
Yeah, that is really funny.
This is a really good card.
Yeah, I'm curious to know, like, because I don't know that much about ways to stand characters. But like, if you have a consistent way to stand him, obviously the stat line's insane, right?
Stat line's so
but
good.
I mean, like, also let's like look at it like this: in an aggressive Greyjoy deck, how bad is this card as just a 2-cost? Play him once, win a challenge, and then like not look at him again, or use him as something if you need to kill something, right? Like, is that really that bad? I'm not sure.
I don't think so, because with Intimidate, Pillage, and Renown, we're looking at a situation where if you put him in play and he actually does some work, he can intimidate around something. He pillages, so he does some damage, and then he's also a Renown fixer, so he's helping you forward your game state.
Yeah.
Even if you never stand him up for 2 for all of this effect, he's great. And worst case scenario, you play him in, he doesn't actually get that renown, and then you have a sack fodder.
Yeah.
You can just kill him later.
And you can play another one.
Yeah.
And just like, because it's probably one of those things that if you're not standing him frequently, just using him to win challenges is better than the 1 power he might give you.
Yeah.
If you're not planning to stand him up. I'm curious. He is a raider, so he has like the aggressive stuff on him. Once again, I don't know the card pool enough to know how easy it is to stand somebody, but...
Especially potentially in that color. I wonder if he's also one of those cards that's like, you want to splash in another deck?
Yes, exactly, yeah. All right. Fleet from 10 Towers is non-loyal Greyjoy, 4 cost, 3 strength, sword and crown, army and House Harlaw, assault, no attachments. While Fleet from 10 Towers is attacking an opponent whose reserve value is 4 or lower, gets +3 strength and gains renown. Cool.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's a neat card. I know there's a lot of cards that like can reduce your opponent's reserve value, so it seems like this is like a piece in that deck. Assault is like the new keyword, I think, where you can attack locations, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's a cool card. I like the whole, like, the choking the hand of your opponent, like taking their maximum hand size down, has always been an archetype that I thought would be fun to play, but I haven't explored it yet. But this is a nice piece for it seems, anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, a 4 for 3 with 2 good symbols and assault is not the worst
It's not,
card
yeah,
either.
not that bad below the curve that we as middling amateur average experts have made up in our heads, right? Because, like, to me, that would be like, I don't know, I think that is pretty good for a curve.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, 2 symbols are so good for blocking as well, right? Well, defending a challenge. Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, hand size of 4, blocking.
Magic the Gathering evades everything. If you've played Magic the Gathering first, it is your, like, card game, like, foundation.
It breaks your brain.
Yeah. It's a cool card, though. All right, Pike. This is a 5. Oh, is there going to be a 5-cost location for each of these?
Oh, that's exciting.
There is! Let's go. Okay. Even a neutral one. Holy hell. All right. I love when you find the cycle within the expansion.
Yeah.
Like when we were like pogging out about those 8-cost armies, we were like, oh, let's go. All right. Pike. Unique location. Loyal to the Greyjoys. Iron Island Stronghold. Each worship location in your hand gains ambush X. X is 1 less than the card's printed cost. Wow. That's really good. Ambush is a good effect. When you ambush with your damn sand snakes, I hate you for it.
I believe it.
Because you're just always on, right?
Yeah.
And that was also just their printed cost. This is 1 less.
Yeah, that's wild.
After a Greyjoy location enters play under your control as a reaction, choose another non-loyal, non-limited card with equal or printed cost. Kneel Pike to place that card on top of its owner's deck. Then at the end of the phase, that player draws 1 card. Interesting. So it has multiple uses for this.
Yeah.
Like you can lock out a non-loyal, non-limited card. Equal or printed cost. Okay. So there's not like a lot of crazy there's a lot of limitations to make sure this isn't just like busted.
Yeah.
But you can solve a problem. You could, for example, maybe there is Eric Anvil Breaker. Non-loyal.
Non-unique though.
Non-limited.
Oh. Yeah, you can bounce him.
Non-loyal. He's non-loyal, and he's non-limited. So you could return him to your hand and then draw him back.
Yeah, and it doesn't affect your draw phase at all.
No.
This one I find interesting because in the style of raiding and the Greyjoys, I find this a siege breaker. So with this, I want to bounce something huge that you currently have on the battlefield that is very expensive, or that is doing a lot of work, or is like sort of the thing you've built your board state around. And then I'm going to push into you knowing that you're going to put it back into play next turn, but that's also going to slow down your speed.
Yeah, because like you'll have to put like high-cost locations to do that, but when each of your locations bounces something, right?
Well, because this counts for itself, right? This sees itself.
Yes, that is something that I believe we've been clarified, that they see themselves when they enter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for 5, you can do a lot of damage putting this card out.
Yeah, you just bounce get out of here, you. Yeah, no, definitely. I support that. That seems sick. So JB Lannister, a non-loyal Lannister, Commander, Kingsguard Knight, 5 cost, 5 strength, crown and eye. So no sword. Renown, forced reaction. After character has entered play during the challenges phase, stand Sir Jaime, then discard that character from play. Yes, please.
Oh, no.
Your damn sand snakes. What did I just say? I hate those ambushing sand snakes. That seems like a very powerful effect.
I love that his power is so focused on the idea of like the political or the social that he is effectively getting people executed.
Yeah.
Without.
And it has I'm going to assume, this is a little bit of an assumption, but in Fantasy Flight games, the then comma means that only triggers if the first thing actually resolves. So if he is already standing when a character enters play, he doesn't trigger the ability.
Yeah.
Which makes sense to me, because there needs to be some sort of cost to just like discarding a character. But now this means that like if you're a first player and you drop down a crown challenge, your opponents can't play and can't ambush you or like play something from the shadows even while that's happening.
Or if they do, they have to think around, what am I going to sacrifice to be able to get the card I really want out in play?
Oh yeah, because you have to throw 2 things out, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
But then the worst part is then you do the eye challenge, and then you could like potentially just You can even do it on defense, like if he's defending too. This card seems cool.
Yeah, I like
I don't think it's like an auto include.
No.
I think it's definitely like, I'm curious, like in official tournament play, if there's like a sideboard style mechanic, or if you just kind of have to like tech your deck. I'm curious, but it seems like it's a great like deck tech card.
Yeah, and 5 for 5 with 2 symbols. I already like it. Commander, Knight's Guard Knight, all good tokens, and the fact that he's non-loyal means you can throw him in other decks.
Yeah. Casterly Rock. This is a 5-cost location. It's unique and loyal to the Lannisters. Stronghold the Westerlands. While Casterly Rock is standing, you may spend gold on Lannister cards you control as if it was in your pool. That's really cool with Bestow.
Yep.
And then Marshal in action, kneel Casterly Rock to choose up to 3 cards. Each of those cards gains 1 gold. So even if you never do the top action, like, or if you just do it to like round out your curve a little bit, this just helps your Bestow cards.
It does.
Quite a bit.
It also creates this interesting mechanic where you are now your own bank, which I find really interesting, which is that you can just marshal every phase to Bestow, even onto cards that don't have Bestow, and then you can spend that gold later. So you can actually fix your own gold pile.
You also can put them on like other people's cards. I think, because I think your faction card is a card. You could put a gold on your opponent's faction card if you wanted.
Yeah.
And just like, ha 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 ha, you have gold on your faction card.
The ultimate flex.
Yeah, this is a cool card. I like it. I would love to build around this card.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems really cool. All right, this one's cute because it's the cat. Cat, Lady Whiskers, cat, and it's a lady. It's a 1-cost attachment. I love the art, just like the putting your don't put your finger in your cat's mouths when they're yawning. They will not know what you are doing, and they might bite your finger. That's just some advice. Unique character with printing cost 3 or lower only. Ambush 1. If attached character is Tommen Baratheon, he gains stealth. Attached character does not kneel when declared as an attacker in a crown challenge. Eric.
Eric. Gets stronger with cat.
With Lady Whiskers. He can just go crown challenge. And then he just stays up.
Yep.
It's so stupid.
Listen, we've fixed him.
Yeah.
Fixed him with a cat.
I mean, obviously, like, one of my favorite parts of this game is the cat synergy that the Tommen Baratheon has, because, like, you know, all his cats. And I think that this is just great for that. It seems like a good card, too. An ambush, stealth, we say it's a strong keyword.
Yep.
And not kneeling for a crown challenge is pretty neat. Downside is 3-cost characters are easier to kill than, like, 4 or 5-cost characters.
It's very true.
But, I mean, like, you're paying 1 for this effect.
You're paying 1 for this effect. This is good.
And it's a cat.
It's cat.
It's a cat. It's great art. All right, we got Trystane Martell. This is a 3-cost loyal House Martell character. Shadow. Strength 3, Eyeball and Crown. Shadow 2. Reaction. After Trystane Martell enters play, choose a character with no challenge icons and return it to its owner's hand. Interesting. So a big part of the Martell house is removing challenge icons from people.
Yeah.
So this is actually a way that you could just like remove a 7-cost character.
It's true.
You have to work for it, but you could.
Yeah, this is not an auto-include in my deck, nor is this a build-around. This is when I'm already building a deck that removes challenge icons. I put this in for a little extra
It's
value.
like a payoff. Yeah, it's like a payoff to that part of the deck.
Because the biggest problem with it is when you bounce them back to the owner's hand, when they come back into play, they're probably going to gain their icons back.
Yes, and if those attachments you have, they might not have terminal, though.
Yeah,
right?
that's
If
true.
they don't have terminal, like, that's just value.
Mm-hmm.
If they do have terminal...
You've put yourself in an awkward position, but still a good card, still a 3 for 3 with Shadow 2. That's actually just in and of itself really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's a neat card. It's especially cool because it has Shadow, you can surprise if there's cards that, once again, like, this is all just me, like, hypothetically speaking, but I'm pretty sure there are...
We haven't really played with Shadow.
Yeah. But, like, you can, if there's cards that say, like, remove during a challenge, but, like, aren't, like, attachments, you could then play Trystane out of the shadows and take advantage of that.
Totally.
Surprise your opponent. Seems like a cool card.
Yeah, I like it. I also like that it's one of the few Martells that we've seen that doesn't seem to have any keyword that is specific to a particular type of deck.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Scorpion Knight. This is a 3-cost non-loyal House Martell, 2 strength, crown and eye. House Korgol. That was a Q, right? That's what we figured out last time?
That's a Korgol.
Korgile. It's a knight. Reaction. After a character loses a challenge icon, Scorpion Knight gets +1 strength until the end of the phase, limit 3 times per phase.
I lied. He's in a deck.
Seems like also just like this is. I imagine that these are here not to is exactly. It's not like a build around, but they're held here to give a new deck or like enhance a deck that exists with Martell.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, removing icons, even if you do this like once, you're already getting like 2 positives out of it. Weakening your opponent's character, making this guy stronger, maybe bouncing it to their hand.
Yeah. And I think there's only one card we've ever really seen, and I'm again amateur, ignorant, expert here. Yeah. We've only ever seen really one card that kind of makes a character immune to being targeted if they're the only one being targeted, and that was out of that Greyjoy deck.
Yeah.
So like this is an interesting card because even if someone's got that save effect going, even if someone's got that this card can't be like destroyed or killed effect, removing icons is a way to temporarily change the board state.
Yeah, removing an icon is a very powerful effect. All right, here's your 5-cost Martell. Sun Spear. Loyal Martell, Dorn, Stronghold. During the challenge phase, you may spend gold on Sunspear as if it was in your gold pool. Reaction. After a Martell character enters play under your control, Sunspear gains 1 gold or 2 gold instead if that card is a Lord or Lady character. So, I think this is a strong effect. I think it's the least exciting of all the ones we've seen so far. But I think that's just because this card is just, like, efficient. Right? Yeah. It's basically making every time all your Martell characters cost 1 less, and your Lord and Lady characters cost 2 less.
And it's only during the challenges phase. This is specifically for that ambush Sand Snake deck.
Yeah, for spending the gold, for spending the gold. But it gives you but it also lets you like play events and all that as well, like
which is huge.
Like, because now you're basically never out of money, and that's a very scary thing. Because if we go back to Magic, the scariest thing is when you are like, should I attack and your opponent has open mana?
Yeah.
Same with this. Should I do this challenges when my opponent has open gold?
And the Martells really do play like that kind of traditional Magic deck where a lot of it is in response to the player doing something, not in response to me doing something.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah, so I think it's the one that excites me the least of these, but I think it's very powerful.
I love that it excites you the least over here, and I'm that like Vince McMahon, like...
Oh, yeah. All right, Samuel Tarley. 6 cost, loyal Night's Watch character, 5 strength, eye and crown. It's a maester and a steward. After you win a challenge with Samuel Tarley's participating, if your reserve value is 6 or higher, draw a card. 8 or higher, gain 1 power for your faction. 10 or higher, choose and stand another character that shares a trait with him if able. So obviously this card seems really good if you can make your reserve value very high.
Yes.
And I'd wager it's possible. Otherwise, this card wouldn't exist.
Do you know what I hate about this card?
What?
This card fixes that card we hated before that was a Maester that just gave you +1 reserve.
That is true, yeah.
I hate this.
Yeah. And, like, so what's really cool is that if you have a 10 or higher, you also draw a card and gain a power.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't say choose 1. It's basically just checking each threshold, right?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. I mean, like, realistically, if you just do the 6... you're getting value.
Yeah.
And then everything else beyond that is just like juicy gravy.
It's so true. I would personally aim for the 8 or higher just because you are speeding up the game as well.
Yes, 8 or higher is like, yeah, you really want to hit that. But I mean, like, worst case, just getting 6. But I know that, yeah, Night's Watch has cards that bump up your reserve value.
Yeah. This is a good card. It's also like a 6 with 2 keywords for 5, which I haven't seen a big bunch of Maesters or Stewards, so this is a good card.
Well, yeah, so so Maester, because the Night's Watch we always say is the one we know least about. There's three like big keywords in Night's Watch: Builder, Ranger, Steward, and then the Maester is like the whole Maester thing. Those are kind of all over, but like there's going to be a lot of Stewards that you'll be able to take advantage of with Sam's ability.
Yeah.
All right, Castle Black, 5 cost, loyal Night's Watch, Stronghold the North, reaction. After challenge is initiated against you, choose and stand a Night's Watch character or Castle Black. Limit once per phase. Interrupt. When the effects of an opponent's trigger location ability would initiate, kneel Castle Black to cancel those effects. Yeah. So, like, Night's Watch is like the control faction. Yeah. So, like, this is just further pushing that on there. It is very limited to just locations, right? Mm-hmm. But this basically can stop 2 of your opponent's things. Even more, because... oh, no, it's only a limit once per phase. Scratch that.
Yeah.
Seems like a good card.
Yeah, so up to 2.
Yeah.
This is very strong. Also, the fact that it can be either Castle Black or
character.
So, like, if your opponent has 2 locations that you know are just going to mess with you, you can just keep using it. Yeah. If your opponent isn't rolling a lot of locations, this still gives you value.
Exactly. Yeah. Very nice. First Builder. This is Bran the Builder. 2-cost attachment, title, unique character you control only. Attached character gains a crown icon and the Builder trait. Reaction, after you win a crown's challenge in which you control participating Builder characters, search top 10 cards of your deck for an attachment or location with printing cost X or lower, revealed and added to your hand. X is the number of Builder characters you control, shuffle your deck limit once per phase. Tutoring cards is good.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know what this means, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, just finding attachments or locations is very good.
I mean, you're a builder. You're you're beating someone up and building something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it also helps you find your locations if you're building around them. Yeah, it's a good card.
Yeah.
All right. Bran Stark. Lord and Old God. So this is when he's been taken over by the Three-Eyed Raven, or whatever happens to this poor boy.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Loyal House Stark, 5 cost, 4 strength, eye and crown. Each Old God character you control cannot be knelt by card effects. Interrupt. When the claim is applied for an eye challenge in which you control participating Old God's character, instead of the normal claim effects, look at the defending player's hand and choose and discard X cards if able. The claim value on the attacking player's reveal plot card. So basically it just like boosts the reward from eyeball challenges where you basically get to like thought seize your opponent. You get to take a card from their hand of your choice, equal to your claim value. Obviously, I think like that's powerful. It's also probably good. I mean, I don't know. This one to me feels like a little bit Win Mori in a way. But it's just like targeted removal, which can't be bad.
No.
Right?
I think it's also nice that can't be knelt by card effects is probably really strong. But yeah, I would have to actually see what kind of deck I can build with Old Gods before I would really commit to Bran.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's also admittedly one of those things too where with my knowledge of the game, I might not know what I really want to get rid of, but when you have more knowledge and you can particularly, like, there's a reason why Thoughtseize is played in Magic, right?
Yeah.
To disrupt your opponent's hand. And getting this out on turn 1 and potentially removing a card from your opponent's hand that they can be a key card in their deck would be very powerful.
Oh yeah, and I would definitely say this is also, as you mentioned, it's a win more card. So if you can get Bran out in your initial play, or you can get Bran out on your first turn, and maybe there's not a lot of strength against eyeball challenges, you're just going to brutalize your opponent.
Yeah, and I suppose it's the question is how much of a power level difference is it from a claim eyeball challenge your opponent's discarding the card, or you choose to discard the card?
Yeah.
Like, that's something where, to me, it feels like it's not, like, incredibly different, but it could be.
Yeah.
Lady. It's a direwolf. 2 cost, House Stark, crown. It's a loyal dog. A royal dog. 2 cost, 2 strength, no attachments. When another direwolf or Sansa card would leave play, you can kill Lady to save that card. Hey, that's what happens in the book, right?
Yep. Spoilers.
Dang, sucks to be Lady.
Yeah. I'm sad that Lady can't have attachments, because then we can't have Lady Whiskers on Lady.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a fine card.
Yeah.
Right? Be able to protect your stuff is always good.
Yeah, I need to learn more about the dire wolves, I'll be honest, because I have a hard time conceptualizing them as value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, it's... The direwolf... I played the direwolf deck in first edition, and it was good.
Yeah.
But I haven't played it in this one. But I mean, like, this direwolf will also then, like, be buffed up by other direwolf effects, and then when you need it to save someone, it's going to be really good.
Yeah, that's true.
Rest in peace, Lady. 5 cost, location, Winterfell Castle, Loyal House Stark, Stronghold, and Winterfell. Each character with the highest printed cost among Stark characters you control gains the Old God's trait and Insight. That seems pretty good. And then interrupt when an Old God's card would be killed or discarded from play, kneel that card to save it.
Okay. Cannot be knelt by card effects.
Yeah.
And this. Does that mean this one doesn't trigger, or does that mean you just don't die?
Great question.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Bran Stark may have just either made himself entirely useless or boosted his deck.
Yeah. But I mean, like, what's super about this is that now all of your, you're going to have, like, more Stark characters. Like, maybe Eddard Stark will become,
Insightful Old God?
Yeah. And, like, that seems good. That seems good. I actually don't know. So an old card will be killed or discarded from play. Kneel that card to save it. Limit once per phase. Cannot be knelt by card effects.
I think it's just a once save.
I don't know. I actually don't know. Because to me, this reads, I can no longer save my old gods from this.
So that would be an interesting problem.
Yeah, if someone's watching who knows, let us know in the comments. Because it kind of does really change the value of the two cards together, huh?
Yeah. That either makes it like...
Yeah. Really good or really bad. Love this guy's last name.
Oh, right, sorry.
Sir Raleigh Duckfield. It's a loyal Targaryen, 4 cost, 4 strength, sword and eye. Companion, Kingsguard Knight. While you control Aegon Targaryen, he gains a sword icon. And when a king or lord character would be killed, as an interrupt, you can discard a card from your hand to save it. That's a good effect.
Two icons for 4, gains a benefit on a random ass card I might not play, also saves a card I want to save.
Yeah. And it's a king or lord, which means you're probably playing Aegon Targaryen anyway. And like, a card from your hand is totally doable in Targaryen. They want to be without cards in hand. They want to discard cards from their hands. So, card seems really good, and I love the art too. I think the art on that one's really nice.
Yeah, really good.
Good card.
What a roly duck.
Yeah. Warlock of Quarth. Can we say, does George R. R. Martin know about the QU rule? Because it seems like he doesn't.
It doesn't. He does not.
That's 2 now. What the heck? 3 cost, 2 strength Warlock with an eye and a crown. Reaction: after character enters an opponent's dead pile, sacrifice Warlock of Qarth to put that character into play under your control. Until the end of the phase, that character gains insight. At the end of the phase, if that card is still in play, place it in its owner's dead pile. Cannot be saved. Interesting.
Oh, that is very fun.
You basically get to like reanimate someone for the turn.
But it's the opponent.
Yeah, so you take someone of their people. Very interesting. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about it either.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if you get something good and you kill one of their characters and then get value out of characters, like, that seems pretty alright.
I mean, the nice thing about this card, too, is you might be paying 3 to get, like, an 8 out on the field or something, and then just being like, it also has insight, but I don't care. I'm crown challenging you.
Yeah. Yeah. Curious about that one.
Yeah.
Alright, the Great Pyramid. 5 cost, Marine Stronghold, Loyal Targaryen location, twice per round. You may marshal or play a face-down card under a Marine location you control as if it was in your hand. Reaction: after one or more cards are discarded from your hand, place them face-down under the Great Pyramid. If the Great Pyramid leaves play, remove each card you placed under from the game limit twice per round. Okay, so this card, I think that this is already a huge payoff to whenever you have to discard cards, right?
I'm actually really so I fans of the show won't know this because Justin is going to edit this out, but I actually crashed the computer because I needed a moment to reread the card to understand what it did.
No, I'll leave that in. Okay, yeah, the computer crashed between when we finished reading the card. Yeah.
Yeah, because what I didn't realize was that this was basically allowing you to actually do the marshalling effect of the second effect, and I was like, are there other Marine cards that do this? This sucks. And then I was like, oh wait, it does it to itself.
Yeah, so basically like with Duckfield, when you discard a card with this, it goes under Marine. So you basically don't lose the card. You're storing it for later, which seems very powerful.
It sounds like an amazing way, as long as you can keep the locations active. Yeah. To be able to play cards.
Yeah. And I mean, like,
outside of your hand.
A 5-cost location is, like, impossible to get rid of. Mm-hmm. And you also don't have to exhaust the card. And if they exhaust it, you can still just play it.
This is another one of those where I'm wondering if I play 2 in my deck, because this is a keystone card. I probably want this in the first
actually,
round.
Honestly, I'd play 3 probably of this card.
One.
If I'm like in a heavy discard deck, this card I think is like an important piece to... Basically, because like the cost of discard is that you're going down a card, right?
Yeah.
And also, like, now this nullifies eyeball challenges, right? I
hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Because your opponents will discard the card from your hand, and then you're like...
And it's twice per round, so that protects you from... That allows you to do it once to yourself and also potentially have it open for one thingy. What's the expert here? What's the word when they can kill up to 2 people or even 3 people instead of just 1?
Oh, I don't know actually either. I don't know either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this thing. Help. No, it's on this thing. This.
Oh, Oh, claim. The claim.
It lets you ignore a 1 claim on an insight challenge.
And actually, I mean, it even lets you, from what I'm gathering, it actually lets you even ignore a 2 claim, because it's one or more cards are discarded.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Because it triggers twice per round, but it's not 2 instances of cards, it's 2 instances of cards being discarded.
I really want to play this deck now, actually.
Yeah, it seems really cool. All right, let's go to the Tyrells. 3 cost. Ala Tyrell, non-loyal House Tyrell. 3 strength, eyeball and crown. It's a lady. And interrupt, when Ala Tyrell is revealed from your hand or deck, put her into play.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
I don't know of any Tyrell card that just does that. I'm going to guess it's this next card.
Potentially, but...
I mean, she's also a 3 for 3, 2 icons, and is a lady.
I mean,
so she's good.
And anything that lets you avoid paying costs is really good.
Especially in the Tyrells.
Yeah.
Who are like the second richest.
Like reveal, so for example, it's like reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, put a card you draw in it, and it's just like, boom! Ala Tyrell off the top row, right? That seems kind of sick.
That is pretty sweet. And plus, if you reveal 3 of her off the top, then you put her into play with 2 protections.
All right, we got the High Guard, and this is a 5 cost loyal Tyrell, Stronghold the Reach. Kneel High Guard to reveal up to 3 Tyrell characters from your hand, For each card revealed this way, choose a character. Until the end of the phase, that character gets +2 strength. You may choose the same character more than once. Wow. So, Kneel would reveal to 3 Tyrell characters. For each card revealed this way, choose a character. Until the end of the phase, that character gets +2 strength. So you can just, give someone...
+6.
+6 strength as an action.
Yep.
Challenges action, return a unique Tyrell character you control to your hand. Like, for example, Ala Tyrell.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems very powerful. And also, I love it because it explores that deck space in Tyrell where it's like, me, big knight, me, beat you. That's really cool.
Which, frankly, I will also say the deck desperately needs this because Justin and I have discovered with that whole knight play, it's actually really hard to get a knight strong enough to be able to fight an entire board state. That's what you kind of have to do.
Yeah. And that's just a repeatable 6. That seems really good. Bran the Blue, 1 cost event, action, choose a character that's attacking or defending alone. Until the end of the challenge, the character gets +5 strength, +10 strength instead, if it is a Rainbow Guard or Brienne of Tarth. Hey, this also is a good boost, isn't it? Wow, this is 1 cost, 5 strength.
Or 1 cost, 10 strength.
Yeah, that's good.
That's unbelievably sick.
That's an powerful combat trick.
I would run 3 of these in any of my knight decks.
Honestly, in any deck where even just even just on its own. Like, if this card is just, you could go in on a challenge with just some fucking schmuck.
With a camel.
Yeah. And then they're like, I'll block. And you're like, ha ha!
Yeah.
It changes combat math entirely.
It's wild.
All right, on to the neutrals. We got Zolo the Fat. He's kind of chunky.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually call him fat compared to a lot of characters.
No, he's husky, but he's not fat. 2 cost, 3 strength, sword, Dothraki Mercenary. Reaction, after an opponent gains gold, if it is not the marshalling phase, sacrifice Zolo the Fat to move all gold from that player's gold pool to your own. That's really funny. Just steal it all.
That is speaking of killing combat tricks.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like a powerful countermeasure to that.
And if it never happens to, I will say he's a 2 gold for a 3 strength sword character who has Dothraki and Mercenary.
2 relevant keywords. Yeah, definitely.
I love Zolo.
Yeah, me too. Card seems pretty sick. All right, a neutral 5 cost location. It's King's Landing. That makes sense. After King's Landing location enters play, kneel it to draw a card, limit twice per round. Martian action, kneel a King's Landing location to gain 1 gold. So obviously, this one is like the least focused of them. It's just economy. Mm-hmm. It's obviously good economy, right?
Yeah.
But really you need to kneel probably 3 or 4 locations to make this work, which means you're probably not triggering other effects on them. But if you bring in multiple King's Landing locations that don't care about kneel effects, and you can just turn them into gold, and yeah, no, it seems good. Seems good.
Yeah, what I would say is that the thing I like about this is it makes me reconsider what neutral locations that have King's Landing keyword I want to put in. Because, now I'm looking at them not as potentially a, what's that one gold kneeling card?
The Great Hall, the one that you played, reduces the cost?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, just I'm now reconsidering what I build into my decks.
Yeah, and I suppose also, like, probably realistically, Lannister and Baratheon probably also have King's Landing cards because they, you know, and then even maybe depending on like the expansion, some Tyrell might even have it because they were also, you know, there. So yeah,
you can also just, I mean, it'll take 5 rounds, but this thing will also pay itself back in 5 rounds.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. Well, technically 6 because if you wanted to draw a card.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
All right, we got the Horn of Winter. 2 cost item, unique character only, attached character gains assault. Reaction, after you win a challenge, sacrifice the Horn of Winter to choose a location that was targeted by assault this challenge. Until the end of the round, treat that location if its printed text box were blank. If it is a stronghold location or the wall, you may discard it from play instead.
I like that. So that gets rid of all of these 5-cycle cards.
Yeah,
it's nice that they put in a
strongholds.
removal piece.
Yeah, that's what we've said that previously. It's nice in each of these they have like basically a toggle they can switch to also stop those things.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. Florian and Jonquil. Jonquil. Jonquil? Jonquil. Jonquil.
Jonquil.
Jonquil. Jonquil. Song. Action. Choose a unique character with a printing cost 3 or lower until the end of the phase. That character gains renown. Then attach Florian and Jonquil to that character as an attachment of the text terminal. Attached character gains the Fool and Knight traits. Interesting.
I like that a character gains renown, so I'm going to throw that camel in and win that challenge. Going to get it renowned, and then it's a Fool and a Knight.
Yeah, it opens up a lot of like synergy windows for those keywords.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Look, it doesn't break the screen. Perfect. Doesn't cover us. Bran the Builder. This is a 5 cost, 3 initiative, 1 claim, 7 reserve legacy. Reaction. After you win a challenge, choose the top 10 cards of your deck for location, reveal it and add to your hand, and shuffle your deck. Limit twice per phase. Obviously, this fits with the flavor of Bran the Builder, where it's the stronghold, the locations, right? And now it's actually just clicking for me. Of course, Bran the Builder, the big thing would be big, important locations for each faction. Cool card. I think.
Also, the 7 claim means that it works really well with that Sam card because you're already that much closer to triggering Sam's ability.
Yeah, you probably will get it like as soon as you play it.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
This is really good.
And then we got the Mad King's Command, 3 cost, 3 gold, 6 influence, 1 claim, 4 reserve. It's an edict and a legacy. Forced reaction. After the challenge phase begins, each player chooses up to 3 characters, up to 3 locations, up to 3 attachments, and up to 3 cards in their hand and or shadows area. Place each card not chosen on the bottom of its owner's deck. Cannot be saved. It's like it's a super board wipe. It's just a super reset.
Yeah.
These cards are great to have in the game because it can just kind of like, you know, really do well. And you can also build around this very easily. Like, I'm probably only going to have 3 of each. It's not going to hurt me, but it might hurt my opponent. And then sometimes it doesn't hurt your opponent. You're like, well, at least I got 6 initiative on it.
Well, and the thing, too, is I will admit I've been very scared of playing a lot of these cards, and yet playing with Justin has made me realize that there's a lot of times where it's actually not bad to reset your board state, even if you're up.
Yeah. All right, let's pick our favorites. What are our cards?
I'm not picking Lady Whiskers, I swear.
Yeah, I know. I also had to say no to that. I think mine's going to be a pretty simple one. I think mine's going to be... Yeah, yours is... Yeah, this one. Yeah, Bran the blue. Yeah, that's a strong card.
It's a strong card. It's in one of my favorite factions, and it does exactly what I want it to do.
Yeah, yeah. Mine is probably the Great Pyramid because I like pyramids. I like Egypt. And Egypt has pyramids. This makes me think of Egypt.
Yep.
Also, I mean, obviously the card's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, the card completely changes the way that you can play the game, and I'm very interested to see it in play.
Yeah. All right, well then that is it, which means in probably 2, maybe a bit more weeks, Eric and I are going to play with a bunch of decks designed for us by the designers of these cards, where we're going to see all these cards in actions and kind of see how they go. I think we have like 6 decks. We might have more. We might have 1 for each faction, I think, even potentially. So that'll be fun. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like Game of Thrones. My apologies again for taking as long as I have to get the actual just card images on the screen. I imagine that was a much more pleasant viewing experience. But that means if we ever do it again, if the GOT and DT want us to talk about more of their cards with our extreme amateur analysis, it'll be better next time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, and as always, a GG's.